And with us this morning, we have from the Juneau County Health Department and the WIC program, Emily Zimmerman. Hi, Emily.
Good morning.
Boy, good to see you here today.
How are you?
Doing just fine. As long as the sun's shining, I'm doing good.
It's nice outside.
It definitely is. So if you got plans to take the kids out for a while, this is some great weather to do it in.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that 90-degree weather this weekend.
So for that, if you're taking kids out, make sure they're in lots of water or they drink lots of water because they're going to get hydrated, need to be hydrated all weekend.
I like it around 80 degrees, 90 degrees. I need a lot of water.
Now, this is the month of June, and it's June Dairy Month. And it's also it's not just here in Wisconsin, but basically June is Dairy Month nationwide.
Pretty sure it's National Dairy Month. So it's the month where everybody is very thankful for the dairy farmers in the world, and especially here in Wisconsin.
Also, lots of dairy breakfasts go on. That's great things to, one, get some great food fresh off the farm, and two, to take the kids out and let them see the farm if they never have, to see how things grow, to see the animals where the milk comes from, to see all the big farm equipment. Kids love all that stuff.
I'm from the country, and so I grew up in the country. My family, our cousins were from the farm, so I grew up around cows and around tractors and things like that. But people that are from the city that aren't from the country, it's a great experience. If you've never been to a dairy breakfast and you've never seen where milk comes from, it's a pretty great experience.
Okay, talking with Emily Zimmerman again, and like we said, the June Dairy Month, the dairy breakfasts are great. But what else can we do during June Dairy Month with the kids?
You can just find out, you can experience some of the foods that maybe you haven't done before. So maybe you're not a milk drinker yourself and you don't like liquid milk. So maybe you want to indulge in some dairy foods that you wouldn't normally eat. So you can definitely eat some foods that you wouldn't normally have. And so maybe you don't normally drink milk. There are going to be some other calcium-rich foods that aren't normally just liquid milk. So you can do yogurt, pudding, cheddar cheese, string cheese, cottage cheese. You can also do, things that are going to be calcium-rich foods are also going to be soy milk. You can do, calcium-fortified, different things like that. You can also make things from dairy products. So you could do homemade frozen yogurt. You could do smoothies. There's going to be a lot of things that you guys can do with dairy foods. That one favorite thing is ice cream. Yes. This season is cold. It's very hot, so might as well indulge in some ice cream.
Speaking of, today is National Chocolate Ice Cream Day.
Oh, did not know that. That's a great thing to indulge in when it's very hot. Chocolate ice cream is my favorite.
Mine too.
Chocolate marshmallow ripple was what I always loved growing up when the Schwann's man came around.
Now, you're talking like with milk products, and maybe you don't drink a lot of milk to get your calcium, but the body, whether it's a young child or an older adult, you still need that calcium.
Yes, and being that I work for WIC, the age group that we focus on a lot, a couple of age groups that we focus on is between 2, 3, and 4, their calcium requirements increase, and so that food package we focus on for those additional calcium requirements. We can alter that food package where we can give them yogurt and cheese, and so that can be fun for children, so they can we want them to enjoy those additional benefits of yogurt and cheese during those additional calcium requirements.
And there's all fun ways to do all this, whether it's the milk, like you said, yogurt. Now they got, the yogurt and the squeeze tubes that the kids like. So there's different fun ways to introduce it to your young kids without them, turning up their noses at it.
Yeah, they can take frozen fruit, a little bit of milk or juice, add some frozen fruit into the blender, helping with mom and dad and make smoothies at home, cut up some bananas, taking that fruit and yogurt and a little bit of juice, some milk, putting it into the blender, make smoothies with mom and dad at home, and it can be a really fun treat on a hot summer day. Hot. I don't like hot days. I'm the girl that has the air conditioning on her car on full blast on the way home from work every day. I had it on just driving over here now. Not gonna lie. Less than 5 minutes in the car, the AC is blasting.
And she's ready to go. So you probably got stuff like that ready to go for yourself to make too.
I do. I usually always have frozen pineapple, strawberries, and usually frozen pineapples and bananas and strawberries in the freezer just because it works really good. And then if you've always just bought liquid juice, you should try frozen juice. That's a really great way to make juice. And if you've always wondered, how do you do that? Do you have to take it out and defrost it? You don't. And so what you do is you buy that frozen juice and you take it out and you you rip off the seal on the top and you just, you can scoop it out with a spoon, put it in, and then you can buy your fresh yogurt at the store and take a couple spoonfuls of that, put it in the blender with some fresh fruit, a little bit of milk because you need some liquid in there, and there's a smoothie in your blender that you and your children can enjoy for National Dairy Month.
I never thought about that. Used to make smoothies and stuff, and we use some juice, but I never thought of the can of like orange juice or apple juice or something like that to use that frozen stuff, because we always use the frozen fruits, but I never thought of the frozen fruit juice like that.
Just like a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. Instead of it packs a little bit of flavor. Not saying like use a lot, but what I meant to say is make your juice. I didn't mean to say take a spoonful out of that. I meant to say make juice from your frozen juice container. I didn't mean. Sorry.
So you mean make the juice.
Make the juice from there. Sorry.
Instead of you. Okay. I thought. Well, I'm glad we clarified that because I thought you meant to take like a little bit of that frozen and put it in the blender.
No. I mean, I guess you could do that too, but what I meant is on WIC, our pregnant and breastfeeding moms, their juice selection is harder, so I should clarify that. So what I meant to say is, I got ahead of myself. So when you're on WIC, pregnant and breastfeeding women, their juice choices are the frozen or the 48s, and it can be harder to find that juice in the store because their juices are either the frozen or the 48s, and some of the women they have a harder time finding the 48s, which is usually like the Juicy Juice brand or the Old Orchard, which is just the cranberry, or store brand apple. And so I got a little ahead of myself there. I apologize. So how you could probably scoop a little of that out. I'm sorry. I mean, you could, but it might be really, really tart. But I guess it might just be a little concentrated. You could. I think you could, Kevin, but...
Well, we'll have to give it a try.
Yeah. But yes, please make the juice and add the 3 containers of water to it. But I guess you could put a little bit in there. I just got a little ahead of myself there. Whoops.
You're thinking too much about making smoothies.
I know. I got excited. Okay. So, how much dairy that children need in a day. So for children ages 2 to 3, they need 2 cups of dairy a day. So if you're wondering, okay, so how much is a cup? A good way to think about this, another dietitian and I kind of talked about this, is so if you think of a child's fist, that would be about a half a cup. So that's about 4 ounces. That's a really great way to think about that. So a half a cup is 4 ounces, and they need 2 cups a day. So if you think about that, a half a cup is 4 ounces, and we need
2 cups.
2 cups. So how many fists would we need?
4, right?
Yeah.
If I'm doing my math right.
You're better at math than I am.
Well,
so
4,
then you could split it up throughout the day, and that's just and that's what foods are included in your dairy group. So it doesn't have to just be liquid milk during the day.
Yeah.
It could be different foods. It could be yogurt. It could be cottage cheese. It could be different foods. So that's kind of cool. So then if we look at women, they need 3 cups. So then let's look at an adult. Their fist is 1 cup, which would be 8 ounces. So then let's look at our fist. That's 8 ounces. And women need 3 cups. So then we would need
24 ounces. 3 fists.
Yeah. Way to go. And then men need a little bit different. Men need 3 cups. Same thing.
Okay.
We are the same.
Okay.
Pretty cool. So then if we think about what if you don't drink milk? So there's other, like for myself, I'm lactose intolerant. So then we do offer those options on WIC, obviously. So we can do lactose-free milk, or we can do soy milk. And we offer vanilla or the the regular soy milk, and we offer the lactose-free milk as well. So those are options on WIC. And so not just talking about WIC in general, but those are options out in the regular shopping at festivals and Walmarts and regular grocery stores. So those can be options that you can find out at the store. So when you are out shopping, maybe make sure to choose some fat-free or low-fat milk, yogurts, and cheese, so that you're not always choosing some high-fat options, maybe choosing those lower-fat options, so that maybe you do like higher-fat milks, then maybe choosing low-fat or fat-free options for your cheese and your sour cream, so you're not always choosing high-fat for all of your dairy products, because we want to make sure that we are choosing low-fat for some of ours. Heart health is very important, and saturated fats can be hard on our heart. So we want to make sure that we're giving our bodies the best chance, and we want to be good to our bodies. And we want to, make sure that we're choosing the fats and limiting our calories and our saturated fats.
Now, here's something I saw on TV probably about a month and a half ago or so.
Okay.
As we're talking about, different ways to get that dairy product in.
Okay.
A lot of people, I love cottage cheese.
Okay.
But a lot of people don't because they don't like the texture of it, the lumps and things like that. Somebody was on one of the talk shows, and they were whipping the cottage cheese like a yogurt.
Okay.
And that's what it looked like, was a yogurt. But they whipped it. And then that took out all the lumps and everything, but you still got that cottage cheese just like it was. So that might be something to look into if you don't like that texture, but you like yogurt. So that's an idea. I mean, like you said, something different. So if you're not a milk drinker or you're not a big cheese eater, but that's another dairy product that you can do in different ways to get it in your system.
Kind of similar to the way that they have changed yogurt from its consistency to making it more like the whipped yogurt. They've changed the consistency of foods that way. Or they've made like cottage cheese, the small curds to the large curds and things like that.
I like large curd more than small curd.
I do too. Yeah, now which one do I can't remember now. Yeah, I can't remember. I think I like large. I think I do.
But yeah, so I mean, that's just another way that I saw on TV. It's like, well, that's a way to get rid of those lumps if you don't like them.
Yeah. And then I know that there are some people that, kind of a different thing. Have you ever tried making scrambled eggs with cottage cheese?
I haven't tried it, but I wouldn't turn my nose up at it, I don't think.
It can be a great way to add, it makes it really creamy. It can be I know some moms and dads that have done that. It makes it creamier instead of just adding milk if you want to make things really fluffy and creamy. And then here's a calcium choice for those who do not consume dairy products. You can do kale leaves, can fortify foods and beverages that provide other nutrients found in dairy products, so you can check those kind of things. And we can also talk about health benefits of dairy products are linked to improve bone health and may reduce the risk of osteoporosis. The intake of dairy products is especially important to bone health during childhood and adolescence when bone mass is being built. And the intake of dairy products is associated with the reduced risk of cardiovascular disease and type 2 diabetes and lowered blood pressure in adults.
Okay, so there's always great health benefits from these dairy products too. What's the difference if you are looking at, instead of like regular milk, you get the low-fat milk or fat-free items that are dairy? What's a big difference in that for health reasons?
Say that again.
Okay, what's like the difference between the low-fat or the fat-free?
So the low-fat versus the fat-free, it's when you go from, let's back up. So if you go from like the whole milk to going all the way down to 2% to 1% to skim milk, you're reducing the amount of the fat in the milk. All the nutrients is exactly the same. So if they call it vitamin D milk, all the milk still has vitamin D. It all has the same V vitamins. Everything is the same. All that's different is the tablespoons of fat. So when you get to skim milk, there's absolutely no fat in it. When you get to 1%, there's going to be a tablespoon of fat. 2% has 2 tablespoons. And when you get up to the whole milk, it's going to have 4 tablespoons of fat. So that's how it works. So when you get to skim milk, that's why it's kind of an opaque color. Or sorry, the the gallon of milk itself, the jug, is an opaque color because it's got the riboflavin and they don't want the vitamins to be lost. But yeah, once you get from skim milk all the way up to the whole milk, none of the nutrients is different. All that's different is the tablespoons of fat.
Okay, so I'm sure people weren't aware of that.
Yep. People prefer more of the fat content in the milk, that fat feeling, that taste on their tongue. They think maybe the skim milk has more of a watery taste, and they don't like the way that tastes when they're drinking it. And they're convinced that maybe they have a taste preference, but the only difference is the fat content.
Okay. Talk with Emily Zimmerman from the General County Health Department and the WIC program, and we'll talk more with Emily coming up with this June Dairy Month here at Now 92.1 FM. Now 92.1 FM, 8:52 on your Wednesday. Right now, 65 and sunny, looking for a high of 80 today. With us is Emily Zimmerman from the General County Health Department and the WIC program. Always glad to have Emily in here to talk with us. And like we say, June Dairy Month, we want to talk about getting that dairy product in the kids, and not just the kids, but pregnant women. And along with the WIC program, you want to talk about the importance of some of this for them.
Exactly. So not only is it important for children to get calcium and milk, we also want to talk about the importance of breastfeeding and pregnant women, which are on our WIC program as well. So it's important for breastfeeding and pregnant women to get milk in their diet, especially because we want to make sure that they're getting enough calcium. So we want to make sure that they're getting enough calcium because baby is growing, and we want to make sure that that baby is getting enough calcium for growth and development. But what if you don't like milk? And so we want them to get about 3 glasses of milk a day, but that may seem like a lot of milk to drink, especially if they don't like milk. So if they're not big milk drinkers, they can find calcium in other things as well. So they can find it in cheese. So maybe they can enjoy cheese in sandwiches, tacos, pizza, omelets, macaroni and cheese, yogurt. They could do milk in soups and puddings. They could have milk on their cereal. They could do fruit and cheese, things like that. So, or if milk gives you problems, if you're lactose intolerant, we could do the lactose-free milk. We can talk to you about things like that. Just the importance of how calcium is really a crucial part of growth and development during your pregnancy. So when it's National Dairy Month, we try and focus on the importance of it's not just how wonderful. Of course, it's wonderful that it's National Dairy Month, but we want to focus on pregnancy and breastfeeding and the importance of that extra calcium as well.
Okay, so moms out there, if there's moms or expected moms that are having a child coming up, and you need to find out more information about what I need to make sure that development is working well, talk with you over at the WIC program. Exactly,
and so, like I said, pregnancy is really important as well, but breastfeeding is too. And when you're breastfeeding, you probably have heard that you need those additional 400 to 500 calories a day to keep up your energy. And we've been talking about National Dairy Month, and so a great way to keep additional calories is to, have some yogurt, have some cheese, have a little cottage cheese, have some frozen yogurt, have a little glass of milk. And so if you do enjoy milk, that's a great option for you if you enjoy cheese. And so just like we talked about, you need about 3 cups of milk a day, and if the same kind of things we just talked about for pregnancy, those same foods can apply to you as well. If you are on the WIC program, you're familiar with the foods that you get for yourself. If you are not on the WIC program and you're interested in contacting us, our number is 847-9375. An easy way to contact us is to find us on Facebook. We are Juno Adams WIC. Our phone number is on there, and you can apply with us right on our Facebook page as well. And we are located here in Mauston on State Street in the old courthouse, right on the first floor. You can find us right at the health department. You can just ask for WIC. We have one phone number, even though we're Juneau and Adams. We cover 2 counties. And we usually have 1 to 2 clinics in Mauston a week. We are in Adams usually 1 or 2 times a week as well. And we span between Necedah, Elroy, Big Flats, New Lisbon, I'm probably going to forget a town, but we're 2 counties. So, and then it's for pregnant, breastfeeding, postpartum, infants up till age 5. We're an income-based program, and we would love to talk to you. And then if you do have foster children are automatically eligible for the WIC program. If you are taking care of if you have questions about the WIC program, you would like to apply, again, our number is 847-9375.
Talking with Emily Zimmerman again, now talking just a little bit more about the women that are expecting and the women that are breastfeeding. Which is better for them when it comes to this dairy? Is the whole milk better than the lower fat or the no fat?
It's actually better for them to do the low-fat, non-fat milk, so the 1% or skim. What's recommended is the whole milk is really only recommended for children ages for just pretty much for children that are 1-year-olds until they're age 2 because it helps with that brain development. And then after that, it's recommended low-fat milk. And that's just because heart disease is on the rise and obesity, and because all the nutrition is exactly the same like we had talked about. The only difference is that actual solid saturated fat that's in the milk.
Okay, so it would be more recommended for the pregnant women and the women on breastfeeding the low fat or the no fat milk.
Yep, anyone over
or
age 2,
like that.
It's recommended for them to be on 1% or skim milk after your age 2.
Okay, and like you said, that comes in all products too. It's not just milk. Like we talk cottage cheese, that comes in low fat.
Yep, cottage cheese, yogurt, anything. Cottage cheese, yogurt, cheese, milk, all of that. Any ice cream, it can all be. I mean, ice cream I think is full fat. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I don't think it melts. I don't know how that works exactly. But milk and cottage cheese and sour cream, everything like that can come in low fat. I know that the yogurt and the milk that's on WIC is low fat, non-fat, especially the yogurt that is on the packages for 2, 3, and 4 age children. That is the low fat, non-fat that is offered for those children.
And everybody, some people complain about the taste difference between the skim milk, even going from 2% to skim milk, but after a while, you'll get used to it.
Yep. It's recommended to try and go from 2% to 1%, and trying it, with meals is a great way to try it, not in a big, large glass by itself. Trying it with meals can be better, especially for children and adults, is to trying it in a smaller amount with a meal or with a snack can be better than trying it alone in a large glass.
Okay, so some great things, and if people, like we said, need more information on what's good for them, that's in some of this, they can call the health department. Also, like you said, call the WIC department if you have any questions about applying for WIC or what foods can be available for you to get or use or anything else.
Yes, the last thing I want to say is during the hot months, just remember to refrigerate any milk that you have out during the summer at any gatherings, graduations, picnics, things like that. If you're going to have milk out or any dairy products like cheese plates or anything, keep it on ice. Don't leave it out for more than, 2 hours. You want to keep anything cold, put it in coolers, keep it on ice, because anything like that, dairy products can make people sick, especially if you're pregnant. And you want to get in the front of the line first and keep that stuff ice cold and, keep everybody safe.
If you're going to keep your other beverages cold, you might,
keep your cheese, keep your yogurt, keep your sour cream, keep your milk, keep all of that stuff ice cold, sour cream, milk, ice cream, all that stuff. If it starts to get warm and watery, if your cheese starts to get soft where you can put your finger in it, you don't want to eat that. That can make people sick. Nobody wants to be sick.
Okay, some great advice. And again, contact you, the health department and the WIC program, for any other questions.
Yep, 847-9375 is the WIC program. Find us on Facebook at Juno Adams WIC to apply.
Yeah, well, thank you for stopping in again, Emily, and we will talk to you next month.
We are going to be for WIC tomorrow.
The WIC time.
Yes, tomorrow is our early clinic. We are in Mauston tomorrow from 8 to 3 and in Adams on Friday from 9 to 3. And then on Monday and Tuesday is our big pickup day. So if you should be running out of benefits. So If you don't have appointments this month, it's because you're going to probably run out of benefits. So Monday is our Adams Pickup Load Your Card Day. That's going to be Monday from 9 to 2. And on Mauston is our Load Pickup Day. That is going to, or Tuesday is our Mauston Load Pickup Day, is from 9 to 3.
Okay. Well, again, thank you for being here, Emily, and we'll talk to you next month.
All right. Thanks so much.
Emily Zimmerman with the Juneau County Health Department and the WIC program with us this morning here at Now 92.1 FM.